Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for hanging out with me in the fish room again. Today we are doing part 2 of the fish room tour of my fish room. We have again about 90 something tanks, and we've just crossed over 2,000 gallons of water out here. So we're going to break this thing up into multiple parts so that it's not so ridiculously long, because there's a lot of tanks to get to, and I'll try to go by them quickly but allow you to be able to still see what's going on. If you didn't see the first video, I'll link that above in a card. That way you can click on that and you can see a little bit more about the fish room. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's start on the first tank. All right, over here we have got another 40-gallon breeder, and as you can see by the labels on here, there's a lot of fish going on in here. This has kind of become my Tetra deposit tank for the Tetras that I'm breeding. There's also there's a bunch of starburst endlers and black bar endlers in here. I need to move these guys out of here, but they're so stinking fast. Oh, and here's also a special thing we never get to see in this tank. Clown Plecos. There are 3 Clown Plecos that are out. And you want to talk about a fish that you almost never see. That is a Clown Pleco. But again, green beans have drawn them out. You also see we've got some Albino Plecos in there. There's a big, huge male with a bunch of bristles on his nose. Also in here we have there are some glow light Tetras. Right there, there's some Starabi Cories that are in here. I've also got Starabi Cories breeding in another tank. These are the ones that were too fast for me to catch. There's a Harlequin Rasboras right here. There's a few Bloodfin Tetras. There's one right there. And then there is a school up here of Ember Tetras. All right, here we have another 40-gallon breeder. This is one of my tanks that I really like the look that it's became, and it's a funny thing because literally I just threw these plants in here. I promise you I had no rhyme or reason to what I was doing, and I know some of you guys that are really into aquascaping are like, oh yeah, that's because you got you have foreground plants in the back and you got background plants in the front. Yeah, I know, but I don't know, it's turned out to actually look kind of cool. In this has kind of become my barb drop-off tank. At least that's the plan for it. We've got some ruby black barbs. If you guys remember the video I did the other day, I've got these guys to breed. Got a whole bunch of babies in another tank. You'll also see we've got some more calico bristlenose that are in here. We have got there's a Bosemani female rainbow fish in here. This is a tank, if you guys saw my post, this is the one where ick broke out on me, and I had 5 Amazon puffers and it killed all of them because they're really susceptible to ick, and it also took out 3 of my Bosemanis. Part of it was kind of my fault because I was moving fish back and forth as I was breeding them, so I think I must have stressed one of them out too much. If you guys are enjoying this video, would you take a second and click that like button? And if you're really enjoying it, be sure and hit the subscribe button so you can see when I bring out all the other amazing fish tours and fish store tours. This is a 40-gallon breeder. The only thing that's in this are the Telmatochromis temporalis shell. These guys are, people call them shell dwellers, but they're not actually shell dwellers. They breed in the shells, but they don't actually live in the shells. Most everything you see in here is about 3/4 of the way grown. They're hard to tell male from a female right now, but when they get bigger, the male kind of gets this big nuchal hump on his head that makes it very obvious. You know, you see some in here that are a lot darker color than other ones. These things change colors all the time. It has nothing to do with whether or not it's a male or female. It probably has something to do with whether or not they're ready to mate. But again, normally just their normal color is this kind of normal gray that you see right here. But again, some of these ones will get just this dark charcoal color. I think I've had these guys now for maybe 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. They've started to breed kind of on their own. I know I've probably lost quite a few fry because I don't see that many. Every once in a while over here in the corner you'll see a baby pop his head out. I've started throwing in baby brine. There's one right there. I've started throwing in some baby brine shrimp in here every single day to help try to feed the babies. And then I've put this terracotta pot back in there to try to get a couple of them to start guarding that area, so now I can remove 2 of them and so I can actually have some that are just breeding together. The guy that I got these from, Phil, that you guys have seen in some other videos, that's all he has. He has one tank set up that has a male and a female in it, and they breed in that terracotta pot all the time. I think the only problem is I have right now, there's so many shells in here that they could really care less about that pot. So I'm probably going to have to remove the shells to get anything going. Next tank we have here, this is another 40-gallon breeder. First of all, what we've got in here, these are some wild Peruvian angelfish. I've had these guys probably about a month now. Right now I can't tell what the male and females are. I'm waiting for them to start pairing off. Since these guys are from the wild, you can see back there in the back that bubbling coming out. That's actually a box filter I've got full of peat. So I'm trying to soften the water and lower the pH a little bit to try to get these guys more into a normal habitat that they're used to at least get them to want to actually spawn, because they're obviously definitely of size, and it'd be cool to be able to get some actually wild ones to spawn. And this fish right here, there's 2 of these guys in here. I don't know what they are. So if anyone recognizes what that fish is, they dig in the sand all the time, kind of like a geo. But people have told me they don't think that's what it is. So if you guys got any idea, let me know what the heck that fish is, so that I can go down here and I can fix my labels so that I actually have the right one. Also in here we've got some L200 green phantoms. I think there's 4 in here. This is an adult that I already had. And then a friend of mine actually gave me 3 more of them to try to raise them up, to try to see if we can't get these guys to breed. All right, here we go. Another 40-gallon breeder. Quick look while he's out down there at the bottom. There is a blue phantom, an L128. This guy you don't see very often, so the fact that he's out, as you can see, I've thrown green beans in there to try to entice some of the Plecos to coming out, and it definitely worked with him. Also, there's a bunch of calico bristlenose that are in there. I haven't ever got these guys to breed in here. I don't know if there's just too much stuff going on. I've got all sorts of different Ks for them to choose from. Also, we have in here, we've got some blue Filipino angelfish. These are some ones that I'm waiting to pair off. Well, the truth is I actually had one that paired, or 2 that paired off. I moved them into another tank by themselves with a breeding cone. And I don't have tops on any of my angelfish tanks because I've never had any problem. Well, sure enough, the male jumped to his death, which just absolutely killed me. So I moved the female back in here. So again, I'm trying to get someone to pair off again, because these guys are just this beautiful bluish silver color. Also, we've got some red-eyed tetras. You guys may have seen the previous video where I got these guys to breed. The babies are in a different tank. But these guys just readily breed like crazy. I have to stop because I don't know what I would end up doing with them, because I'd have like 200 at a time. We've also got some white skirt tetras. These are some more tetras that I bought with the plans on breeding them. I got them to lay some eggs before, but it just wasn't very many. Also in here, this apistogramma you see. This is a Vieta Gold Apisto. There's a couple of these in here that I also have a couple in another tank that I'm trying to work on getting to breed also. Back there in the back, we've got a bamboo shrimp that I've had for a long time. There's 2 of those guys in here. Then I've also got a really beautiful 3-beacon Plecostomus. I don't know why I'm saying he's beautiful, because I've literally never seen anything other than his tail, except when I put him in the tank about 8 months ago. But again, that's a Pleco for you. All right, next 40-gallon breeder. First of all, you see these guys with this beautiful spangling around the top of their fins. These are the Turkana Jewels. These are the ones that I did a video of before. I'll link that above if I remember to put it up there. These are the ones that right there that get just super red when they finally reach an adult. My friend that has them, he gave me 6 of them. So these guys are probably just a couple of months from finally hitting that size and getting that beautiful red color. But you can already see that, again, that spangling in their fins, man, is just gorgeous. We've also we've got a pearl gourami that's in here. I tried to breed these and didn't have any luck, so I separated the male and female into separate tanks. And so waiting for them to grow up a little bit more so I can try to get those guys to breed again. We've got a bunch of cories in here. These are some cories that I bought that I can't remember what the heck that they were called. I bought a bunch at one time and I didn't write them down, so I can't remember what these guys are yet. And man, trying to identify cories sometimes is very difficult. There's some massively huge bleeding heart tetras that are back here. When I bought these things, I had no idea they actually got this big. There's a couple other plecos in here you never see, a vampire pleco and an L501 Hypancistris. All right, next tank we have is another 40-gallon breeder. Again, as you guys can see, I absolutely love 40-gallon breeders. In this tank, oh, let's get him real quick because we don't see him very often. This is a green spotted bristlenose. This is one that's not very common. Oh, there's actually one out beside him too. Again, you put green beans out and they'll come out for you. There's about 5 or 6 of these guys in here, trying to get those guys to breed. Then we've also got a bunch of cribenzas that are in here. We've got some albinos, and then we've got some regular ones. And as you can see, I've got all sorts of caves that they've been in, every single one of these caves, but I cannot get these guys to spawn. And everything that I read and videos that I watch talk about how easy it is, and I've got friends that breed them and say they can't get them to stop breeding, and I cannot get these guys to breed. That's a male right there, but he's probably a little bit too young. But there are 2 other giant males, there's one right there, that are in here, and then there's quite a few females, and some of the females are absolutely huge, just gravid with eggs. So I can't for the life of me figure out why I can't get these cribenzas to breed. All right, here we have another 40-gallon breeder. Again, let's get a shot while we can. Oh, as he just zoomed off. That's the leopard frogs, Plecostomus that I have in here. I've got 3 of those guys. You can see, and he's gone back into his cave over there. Obviously, that's one of my most favorite fish because that's the actual fish that's on my logo. Also in here, we have some Agassizii cories. There's probably about 12 of those guys. You can see one of them kind of running around back there. There's also some Peacock Gudgeons. Where the heck are they? God, they're always usually right up front. Oh, here's one. Here's one over here. Whoop, now that I scared them off. Also, we've got, these are blue gold double sword guppies. You guys might have seen a post that I made the other day that I've had these guys for 5 or 6 months and I've never been able to get them to breed. And I don't know if it's just because they're devouring the babies, or I have had guppies before where they would get, females get big and they would just never have the babies. So I don't know exactly what's going on. All right, there you go, guys. There is the end of part 2 to the fish room tour. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Be sure and leave a comment down below. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.